great. Likutei Moharan, Torah Yud Dalet. We're in the middle of Seif Hey. So the first part of this incredible story of Rabbi Bachano.
Yeah. What's upside down? I don't know if it makes a difference.
I'd venture to say that it doesn't. But
Let's find out.
why take chances, right? So he says, "Lididi chazele urzila bar yoma de'ave ki'am tova." This is, I saw the Kovod Kodesh Baruch Hu, which is lying in the gutter of the Goyim. Urzila, the light, the Kovod in Zila, in Zilusa, in the gutter, of the Goyim. So, Bar Yoma, he says, because the Kovod Kodesh Baruch Hu is ready to be revealed any single day when Mashiach comes. And how does it come about? By Har Tovar, when you break the Har, the Gaiva, then you elevate the Kovod Kodesh Baruch Hu to its root. Okay. And it says, Har Tovar, Kama, how big was Har Tovar? Our pass 4 miles. In other words, when we say Har Tovar, we say the breaking of the mountainous, of the isness, of the haughtiness. Because Tovar is like shvor, like break in Aramaic. That's the key to elevating the Kodesh Baruch Hu. So now we want to know, what size is this breakage of one's haughtiness? So this says, the four classifications of humbleness. You have to lower yourself before tzaddikim, beinini, those that are like in Rishoyim. Even before Rishoyim, should make yourself smaller. And even before your Madrega. So you should imagine to yourself, you should visualize yourself that you still haven't even reached the Madrega that you came to. Har Tovar, the mount of Tovar, 4 miles. And the breaking of the haughtiness is through these 4 grades, these 4 classifications. Okay. And the length of its neck is 3 miles. These are the things that people usually are very prideful about. And these are the 3 things you have to be careful of, not to aggrandize yourself. And there are 3 things that are usually the main culprits that make people really full of themselves. Okay? It says, let not the wise man, the intelligent person, boast of his intelligence. In other words, don't be a TV pundit, anything. And they continue the pasuk, Gibor b'gvurosai, and the mighty one with his mightiness. Ve'osher b'osher, and the rich guy with his money. In other words, wisdom might, and wealth. These are the three booby traps of Gaiva, that once a person gets into them, if he has them,
There's a whole.
so these are the three things that people aggrandize themselves. Ve'em shlosha bechinas, these are the three bechinas of Chacham, Gibar, Asher. Intelligent, or wise, and strong, and rich. Va'gadlus, and haughtiness, nikro mashcha detzava, it's called the elongating of the neck. How does a prideful person work?
Stretches his neck.
Yeah, it's like call me giraffe, It's like, a low person, he goes like that, right? A prideful person. So he says that's the length of the neck. בבחינת, it is said, אל תרימו למרום קרניכם, תדברו בצוואר עתק. Don't talk with a stretched out neck. In other words, keep your words soft and sweet, just in case you will have to swallow them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now don't talk klapei shamayim with, like with big gaiva. So you see that a long neck is a euphemism for haughtiness, for gaiva. You can see all the models, this long neck. Yeah. And this is, we says, mashcha detzavra, the length of its neck, of this gaiva is three passages, three miles, three things: wisdom, might, and wealth. A person needs to be very careful not to become full of himself in these three things. Then he will be able to reach the 4 levels of humbleness. And our Chana continues. Umarbato dereisho parsa lepalga. In the square of the square area, the acreage, so to speak, of where the head of this little baby bison, he puts down to go to sleep, when the mommy sings a lullaby, is a mile and a half, or a mile and a half. This parsa palga, marbata dereisha, lying down in Torah Gimel, we learned that the particular state of Yichud Kudsha B'Chush V'Tei, of this zivug, is called marbata. If you remember, we said that we were traveling by ship, and it was a windy day, and the wave threw us up all the way to Marbata de Koch Vazuta, the sleeping place, the lying place of a small star. And we said Marbata is it's a euphemism for zivug, as David Melech says to Kodesh Baruch Hu, Or chiviri v'yata zerita, my schedule, so to speak, my marital schedule, and my conjugation, which is rivi. The Kodesh Baruch Hu knows everything is open. Bilam says, it says mispar robas b'nei Kodesh Baruch Hu, keeps count of because every single Nikud of Am Yisrael is so precious. Mispar Yisrael and Yisrael. So the in of Marbato means the lay of this. So he's talking about zivug. He says the marbas adoration and the lay down, the pillow, the mattress of this Parsa Palga, Ze B'china Zivug. This is the Zivug, Anasa Berishus HaMachshava. That's the Zivug, that's the conjugation that takes place in the very root of the thought. This is the Shorish Nishmas Yisrael. This is the root of all the souls of Israel. That the souls illuminate to one another. This is the zivug, that they get illumination from one another. Marbato, the shon zivug. Marbato is a euphemism for zivug. K'moshe Kosev, it says, Orachiv Yeriv is a reason. It says that Chazal said, Maseches Nida, that the meaning is that the drop of the zivug that the baby is born from, it's born from the clear part, the pure part of it, because there are many different kind of ingredients in the tipa of the seed of the male. So but only from the purest part. The risa is that you cleansed out. In other words, Kadosh Baruch Hu cleanses out the drop of the male so that the baby will be able to be born. So you see that the ziv is called rivi. Marbato is a certain conjugation of the word rivi. Valadei zivu gazeh, and by this zivu, nasa parsa upalga. And parsa is and a half. Parsa zeremez al amshochas anashomes that the Talmidei Chachamim bring to the children. Amshochas anashomes livneim. Zeh mechuneh parsa shleima. This is called a full mile, a full measure. Leitznitzes שהנשומס נוצצנו מהירים ומעוררים הפועל שיסוע בתשובו. ומוליד נשמוס again, and the illumination that neshomas illuminate to one another, and they awaken, they bring about the creation of neshomas for the Gerim from Balei Tshuva. Zeh mechuneh b'shem palga. This is called half a measure, because even though they are, they awaken themselves to do tshuva and to be megayer, still, adayin rechoikim ha'kedusha ma'oik, they're still very, very far from the kedusha. Yechol lios lehem nios rabbos, they can still have a lot of obstacles on their way. Yitzarich lehem yigiyas rabbos, and they need a lot of toil, a lot of work, to take off themselves, the soiled garments that they put on themselves. K'moshe Kosev, it says in Zechariah, Asiru abgodim atzoyim, take off you the soiled clothing. Ki elu abgodim atzoyim, these soiled clothing, and moinim oisom enachzor HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is the thing that prevents them from getting back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And they stop like a river that you're trying to cross. There's a big river that stops you, and you can't ford the river. No, it is impossible to ford that particular water obstacle. You have to throw away the soiled clothes. In Likutei Moharan, he wrote, don't let your thoughts scare you off. When you see that you want to get closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu, when you have these unbelievable obstacles in your way. Because it must be that you have these obstacles. Because they're all coming, they are all derivatives of the soiled clothing. all our decisions, all our deeds are levushim. And when they're not what they're supposed to be, it's balagan. Balagansky. This comes out of the Averis. And a person needs to go through a lot of toil and bitterness until he's able to throw off him the soul clothing. And this will eradicate all the obstacles that stand between you and the Kedusha. Kuta Allah, as he wrote, any person needs to know that he wants to come close to Hashem Yisborach, and he sees that the obstacles are like impossible to pass, especially when he started a road and you see again it goes up against you more and more and more. Sometimes it's after a few years, after days and years, that you already figured, hey, a little bit, I purified myself a little bit. And again, Taivas and Urim fall on you with tremendous surge. You should know that all this has come from the soiled clothing that one has not purified himself from. This is all the Renias, that these are the soiled clothing that they are like a body of water that you can't traverse it. And the Rebbe doubled and tripled these Diburim because it is unbelievable obstacles that stand in the way because of the soiled clothing. And you need tremendous amount of effort has to go in it. And the greatness of the effort that need to be put into to take off these clothing, not every person is able to be able to do this. He says, all this is coming from whatever it is that the person transpired for a person, even somebody who already started in the Avodas Hashem, he started to purify himself a little bit, even if he already went from one ring to another, all the Taivas and all the Urim are going to spread all over him, more than the beginning. This is all because of the soul clothing you still haven't taken off, even though you already begun to cleanse. This is called palga. It's still far from bush because you have to take off the soiled clothing. These soiled clothing, they prevent them from coming to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, Mafsik, it's like a river that comes through. It's impossible to go through, to cross it. And you have to discard this soiled clothing. That's the continuation of that story. Rama Kufta, that it dumped, soil, and that soil blocked the Jordan. He says, by stripping off you and throwing away the soiled clothing that comes from Averis, this eradicates and destroys all the obstacles and the walls between you and the Kedusha. The Sachar Yadana, it blocked the Jordan River. The Yarden is the edge, separates between the sanctity of Eretz Yisrael and Chutz La'aretz. And that's why the Yarden is a euphemism for the blockages and the obstacles that prevent the Chutz La'aretz from getting to Eretz Yisrael. And we said that, it dumped it dumped feces. That means that euphemism that the Balei Tshuva, the Gerim, dump off themselves the soiled clothing from themselves. And with this, they block the Yarden. They eradicate this obstacle that's blocking them, between them and the Kedusha, and they can come to Kedusha properly. And Bishvil Zeh, that's why the Nishomas of the Ger and Bala Tshuva are called B'Shem Palgo, half. Because even though they already got this earth to Tshuva, they still have to discard the soiled clothing from them. To stop the blockages and the obstacles and the walls between them and the Kedusha. But these souls that Talmidei Chachamim, bring to their children, this is called full measure. They have neshomas that are clear, but pristine. They don't have these kind of obstacles to get to the Kedusha. And this says, it says, the Bible says, because of the Shabbos, you should call the Shabbos pleasure. This is what the Pasuk says. You should honor the seventh day from doing your ways. It says, what is the Chibad Toiv? What do you mean that you honor it? As Chazal says, honor it with clean clothing. As Chazal says, it's like Kodesh Hashem Mechubad. What is it? Kodesh Hashem Mechubad is Yom Kippur, doesn't have any eating, any drinking. And the Torah says, honor it with clean clothing. So you see that covered is clean clothing. That's why they say that you see many instances, says Talmid Chacham, that there is a blemish, there's a stain on his beged, there's a lot in his chayav, and Godim Levanim, white clothing, any place talking about purity, talking about kedusha, talking about ksus noki, clean clothing. Throw away, discard the soiled clothing. That's the main command of Hashem. If you should extricate preciousness from a devourer, which means to get people close to tshuva, bring out the shomas of Gerim. So this is how you take out the Kovod HaKadosh Baruch Hu from the derision, from the gutters of the Goyim. This is Yakom Ezel, preciousness from a devourer, from a Zoilo, from a Zol, cheap. This is a Gerim, and this Gairim, and Goyim Tachakon Tashkino. When they convert, they come under the wings of the Shekhinah, so to speak, the garments of the Shekhinah. Which was there, Ger Tzedek. It's called Ger Tzedek. Right? Anybody who was born with Kedusha, when he's being mauled, he goes to the bris. He's being mauled in the what they call the pnimius, the inside, the inner aspect of Sfirsa Malchus. But a ger, when he converts and he's being gemalet and he's being circumcised, he's getting under Kanfei Shechina. Kanfei Shechina means the clothing of the Shechina. The clothing is the outer garments, right? It's not the inside; it's the outside. So he's being. This is the chitzonius of Sfirsa Malchus. And the chitzonis, the outside of Sfirsa Malchus, is called tzedek. That's what's called ger tzedek. This is Al Pi Kabbalah. This it says in the Zohar, it says Kaber Tavicha Vesinecha. It also says B'ksus Noki. What is B'ksus Noki? In clear clothing. Da Kanfei Mitzvah. This is a nice talus, nice tzitzis. And Kanfei Mitzvah Haynu Shechina. This is the Shechina. Kanfei Mitzvah, the Shechina, is called Mitzvah. If Chinas, it says Kol Mitzvah Sechet Tzedek. The Shechina is called Tzedek. That's why all the Shechina, all the mitzvahs that are called tzedek are allude to the Shechina. So Kanfei Shechina, the garments of the Shechina, Kanfei Mitzvah, this is the Kanfei Shechina. Ksus Noki, clear clothing, means discarding the soiled clothing. Discarding the soiled clothing of the Gerim and being Mekam to the Kedusha. This is Kanfei Shechina. They come under Kanfei Shechina. V'zeu v'kibadato. You honor him. You have to honor Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the Ikar Kol Kodesh Baruch Hu. Shiachis Gerim tachat Kanfei Shechina. That the person should bring Gerim, which is Ksus Nekiah, which is clean clothing. In other words, after they already discarded their contaminated clothing, this is called bringing them under Kanfei Shechina. We will continue this tomorrow, and we'll make a little synopsis so that we're able to encapsulate what we learned here. But it's a little detail intensive.